We go. Going live.
Okay.
Okie dokie. I
Excellent.
think we're up. I think we're up. Here we go. Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Hello, ladies. Happy Friday. I want to introduce you to the wonderful Heidi Fischbach. She is a nervous system regulation coach who helps people relax. So if you need to chill right now, you are in the right place. So she holds a master's degree in education from Harvard. Hello. She's licensed and certified in massage therapy and some other very cool stuff we're about to talk about. So Heidi helps people move from overwhelmed, anxious, and stressed out to being relaxed and present because when we feel better, we love better and we live better, right? Heidi, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Wendy. It's so great to be here with you and with your people.
Well, I'm thrilled to learn more about what you do because you know, very often, when we hear about relaxing, we hear about, meditation and do some yoga and lay down and have a nap. So I'm interested in your techniques and the way that you come at stress and how to help us chill the heck out. So um, one thing I wanted to ask when I was reading your bio, you had mentioned you're certified in safe and sound protocol. So tell us what that is.
Yes. So the work that I do, the foundation of it is the nervous system, which is I think of it as the communication network that connects our vital functions and organs, our emotions, our behaviors, just everything is so connected through the nervous system. And there has been a lot of work in the last 20 and in particular the last 10 years with specific technologies. And the Safe and Sound Protocol uh, in particular is an acoustic intervention. So it involves listening to music with headphones on, music that has been filtered in a way that tones the middle ear. And this
Wow.
gets a little like theoretical, but it's really cool, and there's a lot of science behind it. It tones the middle ear, which is directly related to the vagus nerve, which
Okay.
is the main communicator in the nervous system. So by resetting the nervous system, it kind of brings up the base of people's entire system and ability to respond in stressful situations. So it's not so much, oh, I need to communicate better or I need to sleep better, but we're bringing that ground up so that it's easier to sleep better and we're much more uh, likely to communicate better because we all know we've all taken the classes and read the articles on how to communicate well and what you need to do to get a good night of sleep, but for a lot of people it's just not easily possible. So
Well, this is fascinating. I love this angle. I love this. Like, I might just have to throw on my Beats by Dre, and I can listen to some music or something like that, and actually reset my nervous system. That is so cool. So, I mean, I guess without getting too deep into it, but like, is it a technique that is it something that we can actually easily do at home?
yeah, that's a great question. In fact, when I was training and getting certified in it, I said, so if this is so great, why don't they just pipe it into the malls, right? Like if this is going to reset everyone's nervous system. But so it's unfortunately not just like any music by Dre that you can just pop on these earphones. It's a specific playlist that's been filtered to take certain frequencies of tone out. Like you and I can't notice, but I know that it has been filtered in that way. So it is a little bit like just listening to music, but it is also specific music. And the reason it's not piped into malls, just to go back to my question, is that people are used to their nervous systems being maybe on high alert or being activated or like looking around, scanning for danger, or they're used to going into kind of a shutdown and numbing out. So there is integration and titration that needs to happen while the nervous system is being reset, so that people can like move forward in their lives with ease rather than it being a destabilizing thing to have their nervous system feeling more stable, if that makes sense.
Totally. And I feel like this has a lot to do with sort of our, what is it, our reptilian brain, the brain that always is, on alert, running from, danger, that kind of thing, right? So there is still that, antiquated piece of that, of our brain that operates in a fear type setting. And so you're saying that this is going to help sort of quell that natural reaction that we have. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And I want to be careful not to like disrespect that ancient reptilian
Sure.
nervous system, which we all have.
Yep.
And that's part of this that I love this nervous system work too, is that it's really honoring that sometimes it's so smart of our nervous systems, which started, developing their patterns a long time ago, maybe around people that weren't very regulated themselves. um, how smart of them to like want to shut down when things felt like too much, right? Or how smart of them to want to mobilize and to fight or flight if there was a threat. So it's not that we get rid of those, but we just become much more able to return to that relaxed and connected nervous system place. Because when we don't feel safe at a very basic level, and our bodies can tell when there's threat. They're very good at noticing that, even if it's subconscious. We just can become much more able to return to that safe and regulated place more easily, more often, and to rest there rather than having the default be mobilized, anxious, hypervigilant, or shut down.
Right.
Does that make
So is
sense?
it, yeah, absolutely. Do you think, is that why we have, like, so many people have a hard time relaxing because of that sort of, we're pre-programmed to always be on alert?
Totally,
Okay.
totally. Like, yeah, the nervous system state of safety, you know, if we develop these patterns, most of us a long time ago, for very good reasons. And then you just add to that that, the world is full of stressful triggers. And
Right.
if we're not used to kind of noticing what our systems are doing in response to those, we can be at their mercy rather than, oh, like, what can I do to get myself into a, yeah, I know that I'm actually safe right now. Let me see if I can make that congruent with how I'm feeling.
Right.
So,
Is there, in using this process that you teach, is there, do we ever eliminate that stress reaction thing? Like, does that ever get eliminated, or will it, is it just that that will always be there and it's just easier for us to come back to a state of relaxation and peace, for lack of a better word, more easily?
ah, yeah, I would say that what we do is become much more aware of when we're doing it, and then the need to, or the just the automatic reaction is taken away.
Right. Okay.
And it's not that we don't maybe have that first, like, oh, something's not quite right here, but that's a good thing, right? So
Right.
it's our response. It becomes able to be much more of a response rather than an automatic reaction. So I guess we don't ever get rid of, and we couldn't,
Okay.
the triggers, the sort of life things that happen, but the turning it into trauma and having it just be like a habitual kind of keeping that stressful response wiring in place changes.
I just love this. This is so cool. All right, so I want to ask, I mean, there's obviously, we need to understand that we can reset our nervous system, which I think is really cool, but um how does it help us, ultimately, um when we do reset our nervous system? Like, I'm assuming it's going to help our long-term health. Are there other ways that we can, that, improve our lives by resetting these nervous systems?
Yeah, it's what is so exciting to me is that because it's our nervous system and it touches on everything about our function as a human creature, it can affect our digestion. It can like reset and improve our digestion.
Wow.
I am working with a client right now who started my program and was compulsively eating, and that was just a pattern of hers for like numbing and being able to rest and relax because she didn't have access to a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And after 12 weeks, she last week said, Heidi, I stepped on the scale, I lost 5 pounds. Like I
Ah,
did, she wasn't on a diet, she wasn't trying. It was like they weren't even those inflection points in her like workroom dining hall
right.
weren't even like, oh, I should be eating that, I shouldn't be eating that. They were like, eating this was available to her and easy. And she
Right.
said, life feels easier. So it can affect like our emotions, it can affect our digestion, it affects just everything. I
Yeah.
seriously, I it's not an exaggeration to say that it surprises people in how it affects them, but it's often those things that we are aware that we struggle with, the kind of challenges, those kind of point us to what our nervous system might, the habits that it might be in. So it's often those things that end up getting better.
That's so cool. Listen, anybody that knows me knows that I did I did comfort myself with food when I was younger. My It started in school. I was bullied and filled myself with food just from that stress response. It became my best friend, and then it translated into starting as an actor. And when I blew an audition, I would come home and I was stressed out about it, and I would come home and eat a batch of cookie dough. And so it and once I became conscious of what I was doing, I didn't even realize what I was doing. I just realized that I would come home and eat something that tasted amazing for about 5 minutes, and then after that, you feel terrible. Um, and yeah, and of course, the weight gain comes from that, and and like you say, if your stress hormones are activated all the time, that doesn't help the weight either. So um, it's very much, and it's so it's kind of one of those habits where I have, for me personally, and I know for many people, yeah, it's our very easy go-to. Grabbing something that tastes amazing, that kind of makes us feel a little more chill, but not the healthy way to deal with stress. And so yeah, I think that's really really cool when I can hear success stories like that, of this, helping somebody, because what we're doing is obviously becoming conscious of it. To your point,
Yes.
you're becoming aware.
Yeah. And Wendy, a lot of us, I think we that are self-aware and have read self-help books and have been at it for a while, wanting to help ourselves, we might have a good bit of awareness around it, and there might not be friendliness about it. Like, I just want to say, I am just so thankful to the role that food played for you in those days when you didn't have like a better resource to comfort yourself, right? And that when we feel better, we can do better.
Yep.
So, yeah. And so this way of working with people just takes the shame out of some of those behaviors that we are used to shaming ourselves for.
It's very easy to shame yourself because you keep asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Why do I keep doing this? Like, I must be, well, all of the adjectives that we use to describe ourselves when we're frustrated and feeling stuck and what have you. But yeah, I love that approach of expressing gratitude for the food when I needed it. That's a beautiful way to look at it. But so yeah, for me, um, for me now, it is just a very conscious thing. So when I'm stressed out, I I do have to stop myself from going, I'm actually not hungry right now. So just a second, and check in. I have to check in with myself to see what's going on. So
What
um
a nice thing. What a friendly thing to check in with yourself,
like,
to have
hey
a
girl,
relationship with yourself.
that's
Yeah.
right. Hey girl, what's happening? Do you need a nap or a hug or yeah. Yes, I typically operate like up here on this, you know, just go 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 a million miles a minute and I know it's not good because when you're operating mostly on adrenaline all the time, it catches up to you. I also sleep well at night because of that, um but yes, so yeah, we're always working looking for ways to improve and improve our health and our mental health. And so um in terms of the modalities that you use, so there is this I guess, is it sound therapy? Is that the right term, or should I be
Called
calling it?
it's safe and sound protocol
Okay.
specifically. It's yeah,
Okay.
SSP.
So that being an acoustic intervention, are there other modalities that you use to help people heal their nervous system and sort of chill out?
Yeah, I once, once that we implement the safe and sound protocol, which is kind of like changing things from the bottom up.
Yeah.
And then I work with people as the changes are happening in being able to listen to their bodies, and to so what we're doing, and I'm gonna try to paraphrase, if not quote, Ida Rolf, who's like the mother of structural integration. I'm a body worker, and she says we don't make change happen, we make change possible.
Oh,
So that's
amazing.
in my working with people too. Like when that change, when those 5 pounds are ready to be dropped, because
Yeah.
whatever was making that be the response, the person's response, then that's like easy. It's like we get the stuff out of the way for their life to move forward.
Yeah.
Um, so so I use different modalities of listening to the body. One is called focusing, which isn't about concentration, but it's about the wisdom of the body and just being able to hear it. So very specifically, and it's very learnable. It's not like a very esoteric thing. It's, yeah, everyone has a body and everybody's bodies are letting them know things. So
Yeah.
yeah, I integrate from like 20 years of working with people and their bodies and a few of these modalities.
I love that, as a massage therapist, you've been used to over the years working in person with people, but you're able to now translate this to working with them virtually.
Yes, yes. And with massage therapy, I think they people don't word it this way, but their nervous system is what would get regulated. It would feel really good on their body specifically and get the kinks out and whatever, but those kinks are also so related to what the nervous system is doing. So
Sure.
this kind of work is then possible. I still get my massages and love them, but this kind of work is possible to do remotely. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I always ask my clients, how would you like to feel when you leave today? And my massage clients over the last however many years,
Yeah.
and at least 75% relaxed.
Yeah.
Relaxed.
Yeah.
It
Just
seems like a no-brainer, but it's not an easy thing for people.
no. No, it's not. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone, Heidi. I'm just, we're in this together. All right, so tell me about how this nervous system approach has helped your well-being.
Oh, wow. So I just to like mention a theory thing real quick in like a tiny sentence. There's like three
Please.
nervous system states,
We
right?
love theory. This is great.
Okay, so
Yeah.
relaxed and safe. And there's mobilized, which is fight or flight. And there is immobilized, which is shut down, like
Okay.
play dead. Like that's
Wow.
when it's life threatening or perceived life threatening.
Sure.
Maybe it was at one point and we're just used to responding that way now.
Yep.
So my sort of go-to nervous system state with stress is mobilized, fight or flight. And I
Okay.
just get hyper vigilant and anxious. And like I notice things, but it's not in a playful and curious way, which is, the qualities that are available when we're relaxed and connected, but in a like, what's wrong? Like, what do I need to fix kind of way? And then I too, in my teenage years and 20s, eating disorder. Food was like my go-to reliable comfort. And
Yep.
then I would like kind of whiplash back and forth between that mobilized state of hyper alert, and to shut that down, I would go and like numb myself out with food, which would like put like a big veil around myself to the world. It was
Yep.
my cave, my bear cave.
Yep.
um so it has allowed me, I've done the safe and sound protocol on myself, like with someone else, but for myself a couple of times now, and it has allowed a lot more playfulness, which, if you are familiar with that sort of hyper alert and anxious, is just not a quality. You have to feel safe to be able to be playful.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be playful when you're really self conscious, and when you're like worried about what people are going to think, all the things that go with that sort of mobilized nervous system. So, playfulness, food is still at my worst times, it's still a reliable right there. I'm
Okay, we
like
can
you.
relate. We're relating. Okay, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
good.
right,
Yeah.
right. But like there's just much more friendly awareness. I feel like I can like engage a friendly detective
Nice.
inside myself,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
can be having a relationship with myself, and that part of me that would just like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna go eat that like pint of ice cream. So that it doesn't have to just take over the
Right.
reins. It doesn't have to have the keys to the car, right?
Right.
I can have the keys to the car and say, you know, I see that that was really a hard interaction with that person.
Yeah.
And I can see that you're really worried of what they think of you, whatever it is. Those are my insecurities, right? Um, and like, what can we do right now? Like, and then I might, my dog came into my life after SSP too.
Oh.
My sweet dog. And so it feels like just much more is available to me
Yep.
in a healthy way,
Very cool.
that is just hard when you're like, oh, I can't eat. Like, I shouldn't eat. Like, that approach is just so limiting, rather than, oh, there's all these other things possible.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that has changed. And, it's not, the food is still like, it's my canary in the coal mine.
Yep.
But it's not bulimia.
Right.
There's like a lot of things that were part of it before that are not, and they
Right.
don't, and it that doesn't feel like a willpower thing. It feels like just a
Yeah.
change that has been able to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Me too. Well, that sounds amazing. So yes, you and I have been on a very similar journey. um, but I want to share with everybody, you have a free 3-day mini retreat coming up where they can relax from home on this mini retreat or wherever they are in the world. Um, it's May 5th to 7th.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's like next week already. We're already in May. So May 5th to 7th, and it starts at noon Eastern
Yeah.
each day for an hour. And so this is to, sort of reset those patterns that you're used to being in. And that your response being, I guess you're helping people become aware of their response to stress.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what happens for you, Wendy, when you're stressed out? How do you know? Not
Right.
that I'm questioning that you're stressed out, but like, how do you know? And then you start noticing it in a different way. And
Yeah.
so
It
I
has it
interrupted
has
you.
manifested itself in my body so differently over the years. It's so fascinating. Most of the time, I get a headache. That's the first thing that I notice. So I get the tension headache, and then some days, if it's not, if it's a real stressful day, it actually is a migraine, and that,
Oh,
so. But yeah, there used to be bumps that would come up on my hands from stress, and
totally.
that hasn't happened anymore, thankfully. But yeah, so it manifests in all sorts of different ways. So
Yeah.
I love that you're saying in your 3-day mini retreat, you begin to lay down this breadcrumb trail
Yes.
back to your relaxed presence. So for for when you lose it, because yes, stress is going to happen, but we lay these little breadcrumbs so that we know we can sort of come back and come out of that stressed state more quickly and just become hyper aware. Anything?
Friendly, aware in a friendly way.
Right.
Yes.
Not in a judgmental way, not in a you did it again
Yes,
kind of
yes,
way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yeah.
that changes too. That friendliness comes as all of this changes. It really,
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
part of how you change it, and it's also like a result of this, of all of it changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited about this mini retreat. I've done it in the past just as like one class, and I'm gonna spread it out and just have it be over 3 days and more
Nice.
experiential, and just be able to take my time a little bit more. And
Cool.
then also think a little bit about, because I'm so interested in like connection
Yeah.
isn't available to us when we're stressed out. Like we
Yeah.
might go through the motions, but really being able to connect with someone is not authentically possible
Right.
when we're not present. So we're also going to touch on what other people's nervous systems might be doing when
Ah,
we're in an interaction, which takes out the whole having to take it personally.
very cool. Oh,
Um,
I love that. I love that. Yes, that reminds me of one of the four agreements. If you've ever read Don Miguel Ruiz's book, one of the four agreements is never take anything personally. And it's such a powerful thing because all of a sudden you can't get mad that somebody cut you off in traffic. You can't get mad that somebody, rear-ended you. Like it wasn't about you. So, but we instantly are offended by, so many things and think that people are trying to hurt us or disrespect us or whatever. And really it's not. So, that's such a beautiful gift that you're giving as part of this retreat. So I'm so excited for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link to the registration link in the below this video because when
okay.
you put it in the description of a video, Facebook doesn't like that very much. So we're going to put it in the comments below the video.
Oh,
Yes, note to self. Yeah, if you're redirecting them outside of Facebook, they're like, no, doesn't work. So yeah, make sure that you put any links in the comments, and then everybody
perfect.
can get redirected. And your Facebook group is Ready, Set, Pause as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So people can hop in and join that. So I'll leave that link as well in the comments. So you can sign up for Heidi's 3-day mini retreat next week. It starts on May 5th, which is Thursday at
Yes.
noon Eastern. And it's going to be amazing. I wish I could be there. I am going to be on a plane that day flying to Vancouver to see my mom for Mother's Day. But I'm so excited for you. You're gonna have to tell me how it went, and if you're watching this and you need to chill a little bit, girl, then sign up for Heidi's um, 3-day mini retreat, and it's free. So
Yes.
you want to do yourself a favor. That's all I have to say.
I thank you so much, Wendy. Yeah, I would love for any of your people, your ladies, to come and join. That's
Amazing. Cool.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Heidi. And I know that we have all learned something today, which is the whole purpose of this. So thank you again. And we'll see you soon. Have an amazing
Okay.
retreat next week.
Thank you, Wendy. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye.